is Renee, and I recently went book shopping. This month I've been doing a lot of book shopping, and I think that's because I want to expand my bookshelf and my TBR pile. So I've been going everywhere. I've looked up bookstores near me. I've been going to like Barnes & Noble, which I never do because Barnes & Noble, like, books are a lot of money at Barnes & Noble, and I can't do it. So basically what I'm trying to say is that all these books came from very different places. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book that I have is Gregor and the Overlander by Suzanne Collins. I know this is a series, and I feel like it's for middle schoolers or something. Well, yeah, the back says when 11-year-old Gregor. Okay, so yeah, he's 11, which means like 5th grade, I think, like middle, I don't know. I was in a thrift store with a few friends, and one of my friends told me that this was a good read, so I decided to pick it up. I feel like I read it in like 5th grade. The synopsis sounds a little familiar, so I feel like I know what this is about. Basically what happens is Gregor follows his little sister into this like sewer pipe, I think, or like the laundry chute or something, and figures out that there's a prophecy involving him and his sister, and so a lot of stuff happens. It's pretty dramatic for middle school read, I guess. The next book that I have is The Babysitter 3 by R.L. Stine. If you know me, you know I love me some R.L. Stine. I grew up on this guy. His writing, like, he's the one who got me into reading. Thank you, R.L. Stine. You can tell by the title it's the 3rd book. I don't have the 2nd or the 1st, but that doesn't really matter. It's one of those stories where it kind of like picks up afterwards, and like there's this whole new conflict, so it's kind of like a standalone if you wanted it to be. But I decided to pick it up. It was $1. No biggie. The next book that I have is From Bad to Cursed by Katie Allender. This is the 2nd book in her Bad Girls Don't Die series. This is actually really heavy. I do have the first one on my shelf. I haven't finished it yet, but I thought I would get the 2nd one since I saw it and I didn't want anyone else to get it because I got it at a thrift store. Couldn't take a chance. The next book that I have is Fangirl by Ellen Keeble. Did I say Ellen? I did. Helen Keeble. I've seen a little bit about this, and so I thought I would go ahead and get it. It's about this girl, and she loves vampires, and then she happens to get bitten by one, and so she turns into a vampire. It sounds funny. It sounds like it's kind of like making fun of vampires, which I love. I'm not completely sure if I'll like it, but it doesn't hurt to give it a shot. The next book I have is a combination of 2 books. It's Flowers in the Attic and Petals in the Wind by V.C. Andrews. Obviously you can tell this is pretty thick. It's the first 2 books in the Dollenganger series, and so I thought I'd just go ahead and get it. My aunt actually read these books when she was younger, and she said that it was a good read, and so I thought, why not? Basically what this is about these 4 siblings. They're orphans, and they're trapped in their grandfather's basement, I believe? Attic. I'm not completely sure what it's about, but it sounds really interesting, so I'm excited to read it. And as you can tell by the tiny little space, I already started. The next book that I have is The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I've been wanting to read this since the movie came out. I didn't know that it was a book first, but I heard about it like right after the movie, and so I've been like wanting to read this for the longest time. As you can see, I'm like halfway through, and it's taking me a long time to read this. I don't know why, I just can't seem to finish it. If you aren't aware, it's about this girl named Susie Salmon, and she gets kidnapped and killed, and you see the world after her death through her eyes, and it's really interesting. The writing is absolutely beautiful so far, so I really want to finish it. I don't know, I can't finish it for some reason, so hoping I can. I also found this like lovely copy at Goodwill, so thank you, Goodwill. The next book that I have is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I don't know what this is about whatsoever. I picked it up because everyone was talking about it for a little while, and so I thought I should just give it a read. Go ahead, why not? Just like immerse myself into this book completely blind, so yeah, I'm really excited to start it. The next book that I have is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. If you don't know, this is the book that holds the famous line, "Stay gold, pony boy," or maybe that's just in the movie. I don't know. I went to a thrift store with a friend, and he told me to get it because it's one of his favorite books. I know a lot of people have read it, I just haven't, so I'm kind of really excited to read it. And then like when I was buying it, like the guy at the register said that it was like a great book and that I was going to like it, so I'm hoping I will. The next book that I have is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. This is the very first book in the series. I've literally been wanting to read this for the longest time. I've been meaning to buy this book like a long time ago. I just never got around to it. And so like I walk into the thrift store that I normally go to for my books, and it's sitting right on the shelf, and I'm like, God bless. Literally, like I went up to the register and the guy was like, this book didn't even last a day. And I was like, haha. Next book that I have is Where She Went by Gail Forman. The first book is called If I Stay, which was made into a movie recently, and this is the second book. I read the first book a long time ago, I think like 2 years ago, and I loved it. I read it in like a day. And so I've really been wanting to read this one, and I found it at my local thrift store, and I was like, God bless. I've always liked Gail Forman's like writing style, and so I'm literally so excited to get into this. The next two books that I have are Watched and Broken, and they're both by CJ Lyons. I actually haven't heard anything about these books whatsoever, and I just thought they looked really cool. They're both standalones, but like I like the style that they have. Broken is about a girl named Scarlett, and she recently finds out that she is going to die. So all Scarlett wants to be is a regular teenager, so she goes back to school even though she has this terminal illness, and apparently stuff is going on behind the scenes, and she's gonna try and figure it out before she dies. It's cool. It's a cool like thriller. I don't mind thrillers. I want to read it. Watched is about a boy named Jesse, and he is a hacker. The problem is that he's being blackmailed into hacking into all these computer systems and stuff, and if he doesn't do it, then his little sister dies, and obviously that's not a good thing, so I'm excited to read it because I want to know if his sister dies or not. The next book that I have is Willow, and it's by Julia Hoban. I don't know. I actually read this book in middle school. I just lost my copy, and so I bought another one. Yeah, I traveled to like this really weird thrift store for this. Literally, like the thrift store, half of it was like a bookstore, and then the other half was like a key shop. I don't know. But this is about a girl named Willow, and her parents get into a car crash, and she thinks it's all her fault, and so she begins to self-harm. So trigger warning if you want to read it, now you know. It's actually really good. I really enjoyed it. The next book that I have is called Dead and Gone, and it's by Dorothy Simpson. It's about this guy, and his name is Ralph, and he's on the Queen's Council, which means he's very important, and all of a sudden, like, his wife goes missing. It just so happens that his daughter, Caroline, had gone missing like 4 years before the day his wife went missing. Sorry if that was confusing. Obviously something's going on, so he hires like a private investigator and everything, and they try to find out where his wife went. It's obviously a mystery, and I'm trying to get into new things, and so I thought I would try it out. The last book I have is the one that I'm most excited for. I'm so ready. I started this like 2 days ago, and I'm so happy I finally bought it. It's Crest by Marissa Meyer! If you did not know, I'm currently in the middle of reading the Lunar Chronicles, and I am on the third book, which is Crest. If you could not tell by the beautiful artwork of this cover, this is going to be a retelling of Rapunzel. I am so hyped. I've never been more hyped for anything in my entire life. Obviously, the second was good, but I've heard great things about this one, so I'm so excited to get started, which I already have, by the way. I'm like right here. So that is all the books that I bought in the month of March. Obviously, it's a lot, and I still have a lot of books that I haven't read that I bought like last month and the month before, but I'm pretty excited to get into these. There are a lot of good books that I have here that I think you guys should check out. So thank you for watching. All of my links are down below, and I will see you guys this Thursday with a new video. Bye!